Hi there, this is Alice and Lisa. It is March 29th, 2022. This is another one of our global reading series. We're going to focus on the United States in this series, though.
Yeah, that's perfect. We're going to look at the energy of why people are not eager to go back to work. As you know, if you've been following us at all, I'm definitely not a news person, and Alice is limited on how much she consumes, and for personal reasons. Not that we don't want to be informed, but by certain ways we are informed. And when something comes into our stratosphere, it means it's got to be something that's big globally or within our country. So what we've noticed recently is many people discussing how it's really hard to find employees right now, that people don't want to work. So we're interested in this, so this is why we want to read this. We want to understand the energetic meaning behind this, not just the obvious reasons why people are not wanting to go back to work. So I hope you're entertained. I'm curious to look at this. So we're going to begin. Just give us a moment. As you know, if we're quiet, it means we're just looking at things. So just be patient. We hope this read to be about 7 to 10 minutes. So
you never know.
You never know. Exactly.
Time goes by really fast when you're doing a reading.
It does. Like
we'll see what happens.
Like our last one, 17 minutes.
Yes.
Whoops. All right. We'll begin.
Okay.
Let's close our eyes and join one another in this. See, why do people not want to return to work right now?
So I'm seeing something. I'm seeing the word priority come up, and I'm seeing a picture of a family, and the mother has quit working to be with the children, and they're realizing that they didn't need the mother's income, and the father is working for the family, kind of how it used to be, maybe in the 1950s. And one thing that has shifted with this word priority is status has fallen away. And part of the reason people have been working is for some sort of status or identity, and we're shedding a layer of identity that's connected to ego.
So I'm looking at a symbolic picture of someone who just walked down a mountain, and they're standing in this valley, and there's a mountain standing in front of them. And this person, what this picture represents is someone who's just come off of a high peak of whatever they were doing in their career, their job, whatever it is, whether it was just a job or it was their major career. And due to the circumstances that we were in for the past couple of years, people had to adjust how they were doing things. Well, I see this person in this valley, and there's a mountain in front of them. And in this valley, it's comfortable. There's something very comfortable about it. And there's some sense of control. I know this is a funny word to use for this, because this person clearly is not working right now. But they feel like they have control of their life in this valley. And this valley is kind of stasis. And what I'm seeing here is that this person sees this mountain in front of them, and that is symbolic of really something they'd like to walk towards, that is for them. It's for their career, is for them. We don't want to say purpose, because I don't like the word purpose. It's just it's just where they're supposed to go, instead of being on cruise control where they were before. But the thing is that there's a level of having to be uncomfortable to get to that place for many people. This is not just one person I'm looking at. This is symbolism of a collective. And if you're listening to this, you're part of that collective. You were magnetized to this. So there's a level of being comfortable in this valley and kind of being held. And there's not enough information for people just yet, or enough bravery yet to scoop themselves up and walk forward and climb this mountain of whatever their next iteration of work is. Alice?
All right, I'm seeing a picture of this man. He's a mechanic working for an airline, and he's just going, ugh, this isn't worth it. And I'm seeing he's working crazy hours and realizing that he's not living. He's just working. And people are realizing that work is taking up so much of their lives, and that they're not enjoying themselves. And a lot of people have figured that out. I had something else and I lost it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I keep going in and out of information.
Yeah. Yeah, it disappeared.
That's okay.
In and out.
Yeah, so I'm looking at a picture here, and there's something about the picture I was looking at is continuing, and there's like an engagement level going on within this valley. So it looks to me like people have created new ecosystems that have replaced that consistency of going to an office or whatever it is. There's like a new rhythm. So there's a lot of people not willing to change that new rhythm because they're feeling a sense of community for the first time in their lives. And that's huge. And I see it's a lot of gathering of people is what I see, like, how people had pods during, the height of our pandemic. It's kind of similar to that, but the pod is extended and people are really enjoying community, but it's not in the way that it was shaped before. It's not going to these big giant social affairs. It's just a different rhythm of life, and it's a rhythm of life that people would not have experienced had we not gone through what we went through. And it's making people shift. There's, like I said, there's still this level of comfort. It's almost this this feeling of control after being in a certain way for a couple years and being in the same. I used this in a reading the other day. The being at the same this frequency, this dial on the television, and they're just steps away from wanting to turn the dial to enter a new vibration, to be able to move forward with a new lifestyle, but they're still just sitting in this for fear. So this fear is also initiated by global events that are happening. There's so many things just getting thrown at once, and it's overwhelming not only for people's psyches but for their bodies, where there's a level of paralysis. So this isn't that we have a bunch of lazy Americans out there. It really is not this. I mean, I couldn't tell you that until I went into trance and looked at this. There's a lot of levels of fear and lack of control and confusion, but there is this underlying brewing within people of this newness, and I have another chance at life, which we have chances all the time. It's just we limit ourselves. But now it's people who have lost their jobs or refused to get the vaccination and lost their jobs that way, or changed their jobs because they just didn't like it. They're now giving themselves a new opportunity. It's just no one's really ready to change the dial. And it's unfortunate because it looks like it's tied to global events and people's fear of what they should do with their money, and are we going to be in a war, and a medley of things. Do we have another variant that's going to hit us? So it's kind of just status quo. Let me keep what's happening. And there's going to be a lot of people who are still employed right now who have to go back to the office, who are trying to find ways to keep their status quo as it is. So it's just be patient, folks, is what I'm seeing here. I know I'm not supposed to give advice, but the switch is going to flip, and all these people who have really decided to make the leap of faith, good for you, even though you haven't started it. If you just thought about it or are trying to initiate it, because once that vibration changes and you switch the dial, it feels like the population in the United States kind of shifts to a bit of a higher vibration based on people living their life with more authenticity. Alice, I was a runaway train, sorry.
No. So even before the pandemic, people were talking about how they thought the work week was going to change, and that the work week was invented by the Industrial Revolution, and that's disintegrating. So the pandemic sped that up. And what I'm seeing is that people really are wanting to be autonomous. Mm-hmm. They're wanting to work for themselves, be their own boss, at a larger scale than before, and make choices. And I'm seeing that the clock has already changed. Time is different. People are choosing their own hours.
It is.
And there's a freedom in that. So maybe someone works 4 hours in the morning and then goes and picks their kids up and then ends up working at night. But so there's this there's going to be a time shift in the way people work, and it's creating happier lives that way.
It is. We're just in the in-between. We're very much in the in-between, and there's going to be a whole series of events, which I'm not going to get involved into that discussion right now in this read, but that is going to elongate this just a little longer, this like kind of stasis. But when the switch flips, it's going to be a wonderful flip for many, and it's going to change the vibration of our country. Alice, do you have anything else to contribute?
I'm just seeing if we had nationalized health insurance, it would radically shift the way people work. Radically.
Mm-hmm.
Even more than it is now. It's shifting now, but it would completely transform how people worked and where they worked and how they worked.
There's a lot of changes coming with the artificial intelligence and whatnot. I just don't want to get into it right now. This is because it's too long of a read, but this is it really is. But this is part of the evolution of us as humans, and particularly here in the United States, as to what our purpose is, where we will be valued, and this is just where it has to be right now. There's going to be a lot of artificial intelligence that's going to take over the labor force, and we're just going to start seeing that soon. It's just at the beginning, folks. But our value will be different, and it doesn't matter if what appears to be a population of lazy people is not so. We're just shifting how we're valued. That's it, plain and simple. Alice, do you have anything else? People are looking for new experiences. I keep saying the pandemic was all about change. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't made your change yet, well, I don't know. Maybe you might want to look at that. Yeah, that's a good one to look at. And if you haven't made a change yet, the change is coming. You'll be forced to change a bit with what's happening in our world. But for the better, we have to dip low to go higher again. But that's okay. We'll be with you. All right, I'm done. Are you good, Alice? I'm good. I am. I'm going to open my eyes now. Yep. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Take care.